Well then. Shall we get round... what is it, round 5 going? Let me get the stream up on my phone so I can keep an eye on the comments, because I'm dumb and I can't figure out how to get the comments up on Talkover, which I need to figure out. We'll see. I might do both rounds, but I might save one for tomorrow post F1 race, because the reason why I've started it now is because the F1 qualifying for the final round is finished, so I know a lot of you guys aren't going to be watching that now, and I might try and do it post F1 race, so then everyone's can watch comms and the F1 at the same time, because I want to try and watch the F1 tomorrow. So we will see. We will have to wait and see. Right. We're just going to give it a few minutes. Do. Let's cut to tier 3. Right, so we got both Lamborghini drivers in here. We've got a few others. How long's it been? It's been about 3-4 minutes. Yeah, fuck it, we'll get going. So, welcome to round 5. Apologies, but it's been a little while. Things have not been too great my end, and I wanted to be a bit more of my chirpy self, rather than come in sounding all dreary and down. So, let's get cracking. Hello, Mo. And we're popular today. So let's get cracking then. So we have got Jin in 14th. We then got Berto in 13th. In the Honda, we then got Goose in 12th. Mo in 11th. JMS bringing up the top 10 with Zab in 9th. Let me get over to the next page of the standings. Thank you very much. We then have Pasty for the first time in God knows how long. It's been a while, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm surprised he's still there, considering he's probably overbaked in an oven at this point, but that's not the point. So we got Pasty in 8th, Cherry in 7th, Stra in 6th with Skycloud in 5th, Taps in 4th with Spin in 3rd, Filthy's in 2nd, and Throttles in 1st. So Filthy had a bit of a horrible round last time in Laguna. Didn't someone have to serve? Nope, okay, nope, they didn't. I thought they might have had to, but no, they didn't. So, without further ado, let's get back up to the front. As we've got 4, 5 red lights across the top of our screen. The windscreen wipers on Throttles and Beetle are going, and away we go. Spin gets a great start, so does Throttle. Spin always gets a good start in that Ferrari. He doesn't have a teammate with him today, as we got a long run down going into turn 1, as the top 5 are all line astern. I can barely hear this. Okay, there we go, I've just turned up my volume. Taps made a great start up into 3rd. Filthy down into 4th. Skycloud's in 5th. JMS has made a monster of a start. He's in 6th position. Pasty's in 7th. Stra's in 8th. Berto's in 9th. Great start from Berto, who, yep, is in the right car, because I did hear someone was in the wrong car. I might be the wrong race. Zab's in 10th with Jin in 11th, with who's fighting his teammate for now down to 12th, up into 11th, whichever way around you want to put it. Goose is down to 13th with Cherry, what's happened to Cherry? I missed death already? How? Oh, I'm not doing my job correctly. Oh, we're gone 4 wide into turn 1, that's why. Oh. Oh dear. So Cherry has plopped his cherries into the gravel. Does a bit of, it's kind of just first lap contact, first corner contact, trying to go 4 wide in there. I think part of it might have been caused by Berto. It wouldn't surprise me if that's been reported as well. But I can also see Mo being pulled into it as well. So let's carry on, shall we? Let's go up to the top. Top 5. Not much really has happened in the past couple of corners. It's kind of just going to open up a little bit. This tier is very, very well balanced. I feel that's a lot of curb you've taken. That's an awful lot of curb. That might affect your run. I don't think it will affect your run too much. Let's go further forward. Filthy trying to go around the outside of Tap defending nicely. Skycloud's trying to get up through as well and try and make up some positions. Our championship leader Throttle is driving off into the distance. Spin is trying to stay with him and stick there for second. I'm surprised Skycloud's not used the wider line, which you can use on the final corner. Speaking of wider line, I think JMS has had a bit of a slow corner because here comes Pasty. Pasty's coming out of the slipstream, so is Filthy. Filthy's coming out of the slipstream on Tap. We're going to go a bit back on board, excuse me. Tap loses out third to Filthy. Pasty loses, gains a position over JMS. JMS now drops down to 7th. Tap's in 4th. Under pressure now from Skycloud. Skycloud gets a very great run going through turn 3, but not quite enough. Tap does a great job at defending the position, sitting in the middle of the track. Filthy's now back up into 3rd position. Skycloud's got a great drive, trying to go around the outside, tries to use the grip and not able to. Tap keeps the car tight, which works out for him this time around, as JMS is doing more JMS things and causing mayhem at the back. Was he pushed though? I don't think he was. No, he wasn't. He just went for a very, very late dive. A very, very late dive indeed. A bit ambitious. And because these two are squabbling, through goes Straff to regain 2 positions he lost. Mo's got himself a half-second penalty. So is Berto. So Berto and Mo are going to lose out a little bit more there from Berto in the Nissan. Zab's going to potentially gain 2 spots here, as there's a little bit of contact between the 3 of these drivers. There goes the penalties. There goes Berto, there goes Mo, up goes Zab. So Zab's now back up into the top 10 as Mo's going to immediately try and re-attack into the hairpin. Not going to work this time around. Cherry's not really able to catch up to the back of this pack either. Jin in 11th position. Goose at the back at the moment. Both BMWs really struggling around here today. Using a lot of inside curb, which you can do, and again not using that outside line. Berto struggling to get his car to rotate. Goose goes up the inside, gives him a little bit of a rub as he goes past. Goose now up into 12th position. Cherry just coming around the final corner. Let's go back to the front. I didn't realise you could zoom in on this. So Filthy in 3rd. Tap holding on 4th, starting to open up a little bit of a gap to Skycloud, who's in 5th. Strauss in 6th. So both Lamborghinis are now back together. Pasty's in 7th. JMS is back up into 8th position. Zab's still in 9th. Mo has not been able to latch onto the back of Zab as much as he maybe would have wanted to. Let's stay here just for a little bit. There's a couple of... probably end up staying back here, to be brutally honest, because this is kind of really where the fight is. There's not that much else going on. Goose loses out P12 again to Berto. Also come around this tricky little right-hander going onto the back straight. Jin has lost himself a little bit of time, so he could be under pressure here from Berto in the Honda. Got to be very careful out here. Very careful that you get good power down, but not too much. Berto takes a wider line, gets a second and later apex, trying to open up that corner. Jin and Berto and Goose all go wide. They all decide to follow each other. It's like a herd of sheep following each other. That's going to be a penalty. I'm surprised Goose got it though. And Berto didn't get a penalty for going wide. No, and there he did. He did get it this time. So Goose gets a great run, a much better run than Berto. Can the M6 do the job going into turn 1? It will do the job going into turn 1. Later on the brakes, has the inside line, defends the position nicely, keeps the car on the apex and rotated. It's a great overtake done by Goose, but it's not done yet. Berto, can he try and run it? No, he's not going to be able to run it around the outside. Goose just runs it wide, so shut, firmly slams the door shut. Let's go further forward. Throttle's got himself a half-second penalty. So Throttle under pressure now. Spin, can he close that gap a little bit more? Spin holds the fastest lap of the race at the moment. We'll stay with Spin for just a little bit. Go Spin, go, I know. It's almost like Bono. Throttle makes a mistake at the hairpin. So is Throttle's composure starting to crack a little bit. He's been very good during these sprint races, stayed ahead and kept himself out of trouble. This is really the first time I've seen him in the sprint race starting to show a little bit of a crack. But he gets it back together. Spin has a great final corner. Definitely in the slipstream now as we come over the start finish line. Spin doing very consistent times. Very consistent. So no move. Not really close enough either. Filthy still closing up on the back of Spin. Again doing very consistent times as well. So there could be a battle for P2 in the next few corners. We're going to check the rest of the grid out as well. Tap just about hanging on to the back of these guys, and so is Skycloud, and then Pasty's all on his own. What happened to you? Oh, a penalty. A penalty really cost you that much? That would cost you quite a bit. Okay, so JMS has got himself a half-second penalty. Stra's got himself a 1 second penalty. So through goes Zab, through goes JMS, and through goes Mo, who's going to go diving up the inside at the hairpin. Stra's going to try and counter-attack. There's a little bit of a push from Stra trying to muscle his way through the little left-hander. Mo keeps it all together, keeps the inside line, gives him just enough space, and I mean literally just enough. Mo has the inside line. Stra now has to slot into 10th position. So that's where he went. Okay, that'll explain it. So Pasty's all on his own at the moment in 6th position. Then following the JMS train is JMS out the head of this train, with Zab in 8th, Mo in 9th. Just about holding on to the back of this train is Stra in 10th, with Jin in 11th, Goose in 12th, Berto in 13th, and Cherry now starting to catch up to the back of the pack in 14th. Spin takes a very, very tight line and then straightens out, gets ready for the breaking point, and Filthy is now very close behind him. So we're going to stay with these two for a moment. Full picture of Audi. Spin holds on nicely. So I wish we did a bit more like scenic shots when we you open up the zoom a bit more and you can see what's going on instead of just purely focusing and zooming on the car, because that's not me doing zooming. Right. Filthy's not been able to close up too much on the back of Spin. Spin's pulled out a very good lap and managed to open up a bit of a gap to Filthy. Tap in fourth, now got a little bit of pressure off Skycloud from behind, who's in fifth at the moment. Let's see. Perhaps he's got himself a half-second penalty. What else is going on here towards the back of the pack? Not much, to be honest. Goof's got himself a half-second penalty as well. Cherry's now no longer in the last. Cherry has made a move, which is you know what? I'm going to give Cherry a little bit of good light here. Gets a much better final corner than Berto. Now it's going to be a drag race and a battle of power. Who's got the most power as we come down the start-finish straight down the hill? Berto to the left, Cherry on the inside. Berto brakes a bit earlier, Cherry brakes a bit later, holds the corner, gets the apex. Berto trying to get that switch back, he gets a slightly different line. But Cherry's holding the racing line and the inside line. And through goes Cherry after having a bit of an accident at turn 1, 6 laps ago. So finally Cherry's going up in the world. He's gone from last to second to last, which I know it's not much, but it's a position ahead, which always helps. Now going further to the front, Throttle still being chased down by Spin, who's kind of slightly closing up at the moment. I mean, they've got Filthy, who's being dragged along at the moment in the back, so the top 3, anything can happen if someone makes a slight mistake, and that's it really for the podium. Tap still in 4th, under some pressure now from Skycloud in 5th. I'm going to stay with these two for a few more laps. These guys are an entire corner ahead of Pasty, who's in 6th. Let's stay with these guys until we hit turn 1, and then we'll have a quick look and see what's going on further back down the grid. No, not close enough, nowhere near close enough. Pasty's in the middle on his own. Not too much to report from Pasty. Oh, there's a little bit more to report from back here though. Zab under pressure from Mo. Zab goes a little bit wide, can't get the car to rotate. Mo can get the car to rotate very well, gets his nose right up on the inside, gives Zab a little bit of a push to say, give me a little bit of space. As we come into turn 4, Mo has the inside line compared to Zab. Zab hung out wide, but he keeps his foot in it, does his absolute best to stay there. He does stay there, still got his axle on the line. Mo comes in, gives him a little bit of a squeeze. Zab goes through, there's a little bit of contact though. Mo gets hung out to dry, loses out 2 positions. Stra comes through as well, so he's got a half-second penalty. That's going to put him back a little bit more. Stra now trying to capitalise on a little bit of a mistake from Zab, and also Zab's, oh my god, Zab's soft tyre is nearly dead. Zab's struggling to get that car to rotate. There goes the penalty line, there goes Stra's momentum, through goes Mo again, so Mo's back up to the same position as he dives very, very late on the brakes, sends it up the inside, tries to get a block pass done, gets the move done for now. We're going to go back to watch from his teammate's perspective. Mo flicks it around to the right hand corner as there's a little bit of contact between Jin and Stra. Further back, no positions gained, no advantage gained, therefore they can't really be reported because, well, they sorted it out between themselves. Zab struggling to get that car to rotate on the right hand corners because of that front left tyre. Mo disappears off into the distance now. Goose is now all over the back of Jin. Goose could potentially see a top 10 finish in the sprint race, which would give him a reverse pole. Jin in 11th, doesn't defend, stays on the racing line, breaks about the same sort of point. Up the inside goes Goose. Jin trying to hold on as best as he can. He's going round the left, now round to the right. It's going to be slight advantage to Goose, but then again Jin's going to have the clean air. Stra goes a little bit wide, keeps it all together. Cherry's now going to get involved as well. Here comes Cherry. Does he have a little look? He does have a look. Jin being caught sleeping a little bit. Goose is now going to try and go up the inside of Stra for 10th position. Can a BMW get up into the top 10 as there's a tiny little bit of contact on the entry to the corner? And Jin gets a... Oh no, round goes Goose. There's too much going on. Jin gets a great run around the outside. Kind of catches Cherry sleeping. Goose drops it all on his own, so round goes Goose. There goes his charge for the top 10. And he's going to start at the back of the pack. Straw can breathe a sigh of relief for just a moment. Cherry's now not under pressure anymore by Jin. Jin's going to have to re-chase and re-catch up to the back of Cherry with 1.5 laps to go. That's not going to help. That's not going to help your case at all. He might get away with not getting a penalty. I'm so glad I looked at the back of this pack. So out of all of that, Mo up into 8th position, very well fought 8th position. Zab in 9th with nearly a dead front left tyre on a sprint race. I'm impressed. Stra's in 10th, potentially looking for a 9th position finish, although his tyre is not much better than Zab's. Cherry could nab a top 10. He could. We're on the final lap of this race. Let's go further forward. JMS and Pasty still on their own. Taps now in 5th. Skycloud's up into 4th. Filthy's still in 3rd, dropped way off the back of Spin, who's dropping off the back a little bit of Throttle, who has just maintained consistent pace, and a very, very strong consistent pace at that, with a 41.1. That is a monster of a lap. Spin doing his absolute best to try and keep up and try and match that. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to. This might have been previous lap, but too much has been going on. Past these tyres again, not well past. Wow, past these tyres are nearly dead. Strah goes up the inside of Zab. Zab going to try and hold it around the outside. There's a little bit of contact, a little bit of argy-bargy, so Strah goes up into 9th position. Zab goes down to 10th. Cherry, who's got a lot better tyre than Zab, could potentially nab top 10 going into this hairpin. Zab's going to... No, he's not going to defend. He's just going to sit in a straight line. He's going to allow Cherry right up the inside. Cherry gets alongside him. We're going to jump back to these guys in a moment as around the final corner comes Throttle to take a very dominant victory. Again, in the sprint race at Cataluna. Spin gets 2nd, Filthy gets 3rd, Skycloud gets 4th, Tap gets 5th. Pasty in a very lonesome race gets 6th position. JMS for a great result gets 7th. Mo gets 8th, Strah gets 9th, Zab holds on for 10th position. Unlucky Cherry gets 11th, Jin gets 12th, Berto gets 13th, and Goose has left us, who starts in last and 14th position. So, there we have it. There is the sprint race. It's a little bright warm for an early morning race. Might be. Why does it always boot me out to the back? Here. Why didn't it just boot me back to this bit? That's annoying. No, this one. Don't forget to mention timers. No, sorry. Right. Let's get through this bit. So, the strategies available here. Hard medium is probably going to be the optimal. Oh, I see. Right. I see. So, someone in the comments has very kindly just explained why tyres were dying so quickly in the sprint race. Where is he? Where is he? Because apparently, and I'm quoting here from a very particular driver, Mo, that this spanner decided to change the time of day by accident and didn't realise. So it did get fixed for the feature. So that is why the tyres died off quite quickly. But it's okay, mistakes happen, things happen, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of things to try and sort out at the same time. Anyway, strategies. So hard medium is probably the optimal. I can't remember what I did. I think I came in on like lap 10, I think it was, or was it 11 I came in? I can't remember. But it... Oh, both races were cooked, literally. Okay, fair enough. But the undercut is very, very strong here. It worked very well for me. That's how I ended up getting my double win. So, we have got Zab on the hards, Strat on the medium, so looking to get an early gap and an early lead. Mo's on the hards, JMS is on the hards, Pasty's on the hards, Tap's on the hards, Skyclouds is on the hards, Filthy's on the hards, Spin's on the hards, and Throttle's on the hards. So the only person on the mediums, apart from... Why are you on the softs? It may be a little bit warm in Spain, but clearly someone's on the hot seat because they've decided to put the softs on. Interesting. Anyway, enough chat, enough shit and giggles. Let's get going. Right, let's get cracking. Everybody dives into the slipstream straight away. Who has gotten the best start? Who has gotten the best launch from this rolling start? Who decides to be brave? In the background, Pasty's being brave. He's already gone up the inside of JMS. Going further up ahead, Mo already challenging P2, who's now been Zab, who's been quickly overtaken by Strat in the first few opening corners. Further back, JMS trying to overtake Pasty and reclaim his fourth position. Does a great block pass, but Pasty gives him a big shove up the back. Taps in sixth. Going to try and help out his teammate now. He's going to try and go up the inside of Pasty. He does try and go up the inside of Pasty. JMS trying to bring him along with him. Filthy's in seventh, who's being given a little bit of a push by Spin, who's in eighth. Throttle's in ninth. Berto's already... Wow. I need to watch this. Oh, Gooses like left. Okay, Gooses did not start this race. How does someone go from the back to ninth in a matter of corners? Gets a good braking point, hits his mark on turn 1, hits his mark on turn 2, gets very close to Jin. Jin goes a little bit wide. Berto can get the rotation on that Honda, so goes up into P12. Oh, we have an off. Skycloud goes off. So there's one other free position. Gets a great run on Cherry. Switches to the inside. Dives up the inside of Cherry. Cherry on the hard, so it's a completely different battle entirely. So there's 3 positions gained in 4 corners. That should be on overtake submissions. Just those 4 opening corners, as there's more... Okay, I need to go back because I'm too busy complimenting a driver's ability to overtake. That should be on overtake submissions. That was a great opening couple of corners. We're going to look further forward. Spin dives up the inside on Throttle, gives Tap, his fellow countryman, a big push. Berto gives Throttle a push. Filthy's now up on the inside of Throttle. Throttle's now trying to go around the outside of Filthy. Not going to work, so Spin lunges it up the inside, gives Tap a, funny enough, big tap. Throttle's got a great run on Filthy though. Filthy to the outside, Throttle to the inside. Here comes Cherry to put a Cherry down the middle. I'm trying to find a phrase that actually work. Berto holds off in 10th position at the moment because Cherry's made a slight mistake. Jin's now in 11th. Skycloud's at the back of this group, so she's going to start catching up very shortly. Tap still holds on to 6th position. Pasty's still in 5th. JMS still in 4th. Mo's in 3rd. Strah's got himself a half-second penalty, but he's well clear. Mo in the slipstream of Zab as we start lap 2 of this 23 lap race. Zab goes to the left, Mo goes to the inside. They both break about the same sort of point. Mo goes for the inside, gets the position, keeps his car nice and tidy. Zab cannot really counter-attack unless we're going into turn 3. There's not really much room or a place to go, so Mo goes up into P2, Zab down to P3. Pasty's got himself a half-second penalty. That's going to push him straight back into Tap's clutches. It might even put him into Spin's clutches as well. Going a bit further back, Throttle is now in 8th. Filthy's down into 9th. Berto's in 10th. Just giving Filthy another little push. Going a bit further back, Cherry is ahead of Skycloud, who's just overtaken Jin, who's at the back of the pack at the moment. What an opening lap. Spin all over the back of Tap. Spin looking at wanting to make progress as Tap has a huge snap of oversteer, massive snap of oversteer as we come over the hill. Spin does a great job at avoiding, so Spin now up to 6th position. He just about gets his car stopped. So Tap's oversteer moment has cost him his multiple positions from Throttle going through as well. Pasty's now losing out on a couple of spots as well. So Pasty now down to 8th. Tap up into 7th. Filthy's trying to pick up any scraps he can. Berto on the soft tyres wants to utilise the soft tyres, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to utilise them too much longer. Pasty in the slipstream of Tap. Tap goes to the right, defends to the inside. Pasty now has to go to the left. Very late on the brakes, both of these guys. Pasty drives it around the outside in turn 1. That's a fantastic move done on lap 3 against Tap. Filthy's still trying to get through as well. Berto's giving Filthy the push every corner, saying, come on, get going. I think Berto's just going to have to try and get around Filthy. Pasty doing a great job at the moment. Throttle sticking with Spin at the moment. Spin going to try and start catching up to the back of JMS. We're going to come further back though. Let's stay here. Oh, Filthy touches the grass. Around he goes. He holds it though. He just about holds it. Down he goes. Now he's back down into 13th position. He's almost having a replay of last week at Laguna, going further forward. This releases Berto to now try and close the gap and chase down Tap. Tap is now going to start chasing down Pasty. I just want to address the elephant in the room, if I may. So this is the front of the pack at the moment. This is Strah on the mediums, pulling away into a different county. Strah is having a great opening couple of laps at the moment. He's nearly a quarter of the straight ahead of the pack. That's monster work. Great opening couple of laps from Strah. Gets the pass done early on in lap 1, and now just pulling away. So let's come back. Yes, Cap, I know he's on softs. I did spot that. So, Throttle doing a great job, 6th position. Pasty's in 7th. Tap's still in 8th. Berto not really closing in at the moment, but we got Cherry versus Skycloud. Cherry's going around the outside, Skycloud's going up the inside. We're going to watch this from Filthy's point of view. Filthy having recently dispatched Jin for 13th position, now in 12th. Cherry down into 11th, Skycloud now up into 10th position. Going to try and recover a bit of this race after that lap 1 incident going wide and off at turn 4. Oh, he might have just gotten away with that, Cherry. Jin didn't know. Jin's got a half-second penalty. He's going to have to serve that next lap. Let's go a bit further forward again. Berto's got himself a half-second penalty. Pasti goes a little bit wide. This is going to allow Tap to have a little look. He's going to try and have a look. Not able to this time. Not able to go around the outside. He's going to have to line it up for the start-finish straight. We're on the Pasti train at the moment. We're going to Cornwall. Beverages, I'm not sure if beverages are going to be on supply today, because this is Cornwall and it's the wrong time of year to go to Cornwall for beverages, as everything is shut. Pasti doesn't get as good an exit. Tap's already on his back axle, so who's going to be late on the brakes? Tap's very late on the brakes, so we're going to go side by side through 1, giving each other plenty of space. Pasti gets a little bit ahead through 2, and now it's going to be Tap's inside corner, an advantage through turn 3, but Pasti's going to try and hold it around the outside. He's now off onto the marble, so down he goes. Through goes Berto. Skycloud's going to have a little look at this as well. Skycloud's going to go up the inside on turn 4. It's going to give Berto a little bit of a push. You've got to be a little bit careful about that too. Skycloud got on the head at the moment, but now Pasti's going to have the advantage of being on the inside, but half-second penalty line's coming up very shortly. Berto and Tap disappearing away. Skycloud still on the outside, still side by side as we come up into this left-hander. Skycloud going to try and go around the outside. Pasti runs it out wide. Skycloud's got nowhere to go, no room to go to, so we're going to have to slot in behind at the moment, but position's going to come quite free in a moment. Pasti goes right off onto the dirt as well. So Pasti still defends, still holds ninth positions. Goes a bit deep and very, very late on the plate, so through goes Skycloud for ninth position. Cherries can't make the turn, so through goes Filthy, going further up ahead. Berto going wide. This is going to allow not quite going to allow Skycloud to go up the inside, whilst all these guys are fighting. Everyone's just pulling out ahead. Berto comes into the pits. He misses the pits. Whoa! Okay, I can understand why he wants to go into the pits. Did he just completely understeer off? He just completely locks up. Has a massive lock up and understeers completely. So off goes Skycloud. Filthy is going to gain out of all of this. Filthy's now going to challenge for 8th position. Berto's got himself a half-second penalty for basically cutting the corner by complete accident. Cherry's now up into 9th. Filthy's up into 8th. Berto's down into 10th. Got a half-second penalty and's going to run on dead soft tyres. He's now down to 11th. He can't even make the turn. That's cost him big time. Jin in 12th is going to capitalise as well. Berto pulls right over to let Skycloud straight back through as a way of saying sorry. Skycloud's charge has now had to be completely restart on lap 6 with even worse tyres. We're going to go a bit further forward as Strad's just pulling a monster gap. An absolute monster gap. Let's see how Spin's doing. Yeah, we will have a little look. Sorry, I've spent a bit too much time focusing on the back of the grid. Mo's in 2nd. Being closely followed by Zab, who's in 3rd. JMS is in 4th with Spin. Very rapidly closing behind with Throttle just behind him for 6th position at the moment. Taps in 7th with Cherry in 8th. Pasti in 9th. We know what the grid near the back are like, so we're going to stick up here for a bit. You want to say, let's see how Spin's doing, because you reckon something's happening with Spin. Something always happens with Spin. It's Spin. We gotta love Spin for that. Throttle must be loving this at the moment. He's getting towed all the way down the straight, pulled closer to the back, and he can just fuel save. He's got a little bit more fuel than Spin at the moment, who's got more fuel than JMS, so okay, his tyres might be chewed up a little bit more in the dirty air, but you'll save all that time on the fuel. So what are these guys on? The 44s, mid 44s? Zab's doing a 45. Yeah, so from P2 to basically P6 is everyone's on the 44s, and Stra's on the 42s. 2 seconds a lap faster. That is mad. Okay, he's on mediums, but that is a very, very strong pace from Stra. Gets a huge gap, an entire back straight gap difference. Oh, hello. Something I missed. I see what I missed. Yes, JMS, you are not missing out. You're not going to be missed out. JMS makes a very slight mistake as he goes into the hairpin. Spin obliges and says thank you very much. Through goes spin up into P4. JMS drops down to P5. So, what can Throttle do? Can Throttle get a good exit? Not this time around. I want to see actually how far ahead Stra is, because that gap is monstrous. Okay, he's 2/3 of the front straight away from P2. That is a monster gap. That's huge. That is not what she said also. Get that out of your mind. JMS feels like he has to defend, so sits into the middle of the race circuit. Excuse me. Throttle comes out to the left. Gets a good braking zone. Gets a lot closer to JMS. JMS had to go on the brakes a little bit longer to make sure he made the first couple of corners. Although he gets a good turn 3. Gets a good run. It does help the fact that I think he's just outside the toe of spin, so he's not going to have as much dirty air to go through compared to Throttle. Let's check on the rest of the grid. What's the rest of the pack up to? We'll keep an eye on those. Tap, excuse me, in 7th, in sort of no man's land. Cherry in 8th, Pasties in 9th. Skycloud making a good recovery at the moment in 10th position. Recently dispatched Jin, who's just following her in 11th at the moment. Filthy's in 12th, and we have lost Umberto, which is unfortunate. So there's only 12 drivers now in this race. Now, were you staying out? Yeah, you're going to stay out. So, we're on the GTR train, we're on the Mo train at the moment. Zab's in first class, Spin's in second class, JMS and Throttle are fighting it out for third class and the cargo area at the moment. What can Throttle do? Throttle's close enough to make a move, he's close enough to challenge. He will challenge, gets a lot more momentum, uses the slipstream. JMS has not really got anywhere else to go. He doesn't really defend this too much either. Brakes a little bit later than Throttle. Throttle sends it up the inside. Great move going into turn 1. There's a lot of moves being made in turn 1 at the moment. Driver's favourite. It's a very popular spot to make a move as well. So Throttle up to 5th. JMS down to 6th at the moment. Still good race from both of these two. Lap line of 23, so it's about another 13-14 laps to go. If you're really looking for the undercut, you could stop at the end. I think you can stop at the end of 10 and make the mediums go that length. I think. Spin slowly closing in on P3. Zab doing his best at the moment, still holds on to P3, still holding on to the back of Mo as well. Let's check through the rest of the pack. Anyone close? Cherry's going to be close. Oh no, Pasty, excuse me, is going to be close to Skycloud in a moment. So we'll stay on board with Skycloud for just a mo. There's the penalty serves. If you look on the minimap down the bottom right, because the camera angles are terrible in this game. Glad to see the update didn't change anything. Stra comes in on the end of lap 9, start of lap 10. He's going to be going to the hards, and surely he's going to be going to the end. Where does this take him out? Because he could be in a very good position, because everyone else's tyres around him are all going to be 10 laps old, and he's going to be on fresh tyres. Is he being serviced? Yeah, he's being serviced. He's going to come out probably at the back of the pack, actually. Which... he's only just come out of the back of the pack, though, so he's got... yeah, he's going to the end. So, it's now down to Mo. What's Mo going to do? Zab's got himself a half-second penalty. This is going to put Spin in a very, very good position. Let's follow through with Spin just for a moment or two. So there goes the penalty. Zab comes across, tries to get ahead of Spin, tries to get across to the racing line. Zab still fighting for this P2, still fights for position, gives Spin a load of space. Spin gets on throttle early. Well, Zab is still trying to get his car to turn and get corrected. So Spin goes up into P2. Throttle now having a go at Zab, who's just lost out P2 down into P3 now. Who comes in? So anyone come in. Spin comes in late. Just about makes the corner as well. Just about keeps it in line. Zab's got himself a 1 second. Where did he get that? That's where. Okay, that makes sense. Completely cut the corner. Well, I say completely cut the corner. Unintentionally cut the corner. So there's a 1 second penalty for Zab. So his race is not going well. In comes Spin. Spin's going to try and get the undercut on Mo. He reckons he can get the mediums to go on to the end. Throttle gets a great run out the final corner. Now alongside that Mazda. The Mazda's got a little bit longer legs than the Beetle, so it's going to save him for turn 1 and just about saves him for turn 1. Zab gives him enough space for Throttle. Zab shuts the front door, well, I'll say front door, the door very, very firmly in Throttle's face. Zab just about keeps it in the white lines. He does not want any extra time added to his penalty. It's already going to cost him a lot as it is. Throttle getting very close to the back of that Mazda. There's not really any places to pass until the penalty line now, so he's just going to have to lock into the back and wait, which may cost him a little bit. JMS in 4th. His teammate just behind him for 5th. We're going to stay with Zab though. Serve his penalty. Let's see where he lands. I reckon JMS might have a go. No, JMS is nowhere near close enough. He might be close enough now. Zab just about gets the corner right and keeps it in the white lines this time. Let's go back and have a little look around. Pasty's got himself another penalty. Skycloud goes up the inside, gets the job done. Skycloud back up into P7. Pasty's got into P8 at the moment. Jin's in P9. Filthy's in 10th. Stra is in 11th. And a little bit further back is Spin, who's in 12th. So Spin's in a good position to get net P2 at the moment. Everyone else is going on another lap. They don't feel like they can, apart from Tap, excuse me, they don't feel, everyone else feels like they can't get those mediums to do the rest. Does the overcut work for some of these drivers? Will the undercut work for Spin and for Stra, who come down into turn 1 and 2 now? Skycloud still holds on to 6. Pasty's still following, staying as close as humanly possible, trying to use as much of that slipstream as possible. Potentially going to try and refight for 6th. Going a bit further back, Jin's got himself a half-second penalty, holding off Filthy for 9th at the moment. Filthy gets a great run. Jin doesn't get as good a run. Filthy goes up the inside. It's now too wide going into this funny little left-hand corner. Jin holds out wide, just about holds on. Filthy just about holds on to 8th position. Jin down into 9th. Going further up ahead, there's a little bit of contact, so I saw a little puff of dust up ahead. So Pasty serves his penalty. Jin's going to serve his. Here comes Stra at full speed. Is he going to try and contest? He will dive to the inside. He will contest. Jin's going to get the switch back though. I hate the cinematic camera sometimes. So Stra's going to get up into P9. Throttle and Mo come in. Zab come in. Let's see who else comes in. JMS stays out. Cherry stays out. Skycloud stays out. Filthy's coming in. Jin stays out as well. Tap's recently pitted as well. He's come out a couple of seconds behind Spin. So follow on with Spin. Where does Spin come out compared to some of the top guys? What's his outlap been? His outlap's been good enough to get past Mo. There goes Mo. Spins up into net P2. The only way Spin's going to lose out P2 now is if he makes a mistake or if his tyres cannot last another 10 laps. Mo's got himself a half-second penalty. Throttle's just behind Mo. Tap's just behind them too, so the undercut for Tap has worked wonderfully. Zab's now onto the mediums. Filthy's come out onto the mediums as well, way further back, way further down the line. So, for the first time this season, and I cannot believe I'm saying this sentence, a potato leads a race. I know, it's unheard of. JMS is leading a race. It's not going to last for too long though, because he will have to make a stop. By potato, I am joking about that. Let's see who comes in. JMS comes in. Cherry's going to come in. Yep, Skycloud's coming in. She's already announced that. Surely Patty's going to come in as well. He will come in. So Stra going to carry on going around. Jin surely going to come in this lap too. He is. So Stra goes out into the lead of this race. You are looking at P2 at the moment. There is P1, a monster of a lead. Stra has worked this absolutely wonderfully. He's just got to bring it home now. That's all he's got to do. No pressure, absolutely no pressure from behind. Spin, yes, he's on the mediums, he could catch. But it's going to take him a little while to do it, and he could kill off his tyres. It's one thing to catch, it's a completely other thing to overtake. Mo in 3rd, Throttle in 4th, slowly catching up to the back of Mo. Tap in the background in 5th at the moment. Zab's in 6th. JMS being the first driver of the rest of the pack to come out. He's in 7th and a lonely 7th at the moment. Cherry's in 8th, Skycloud's in 9th. Filthy managed to get the undercut to work on Pasty and Jin, who are in 10th and 11th and 12th. Respectively. Let's come back to these two. Throttle gets very close under the braking. Mo does a fantastic job holding on to 3rd. He's going to try and hold up Throttle as long as possible, as well as not ruin his own race. It's a good run from Throttle. Mo's going to have to look at a defensive move in a moment. Doesn't offer one up. Throttle goes to the inside. They both break about the same sort of time. Throttle to the inside, hits the apex, gets through. He's going to hold P3. Mo in P4. Swings it out wide. He's going to try and get a switch back. Holds it nice and tight. Throttle, aware of what he's doing, keeps his car tight enough to negate that switchback. So throttle, P3, Mo trying his best to stick with him, and there's not much he can do at the moment. Can he get a good run coming out of turn 4 and lunge it down the turn 5? No, not close enough this time. So the championship leader has done the job, and he's opening up a gap to Mo. He's up into P3 at the moment, so could be in a spot to get 1 and 2 in this race. Let's see what Spin has to offer for a defence in a few laps time when he catches. Round goes JMS. Great run at the moment by JMS. Cherry's in 8th, Skycloud's in 9th, chasing down Cherry for 8th position. Filthy's in 10th, Basty's in 11th. Jin's bringing up the rear at the moment in 12th. There's Straw. Again, and there's Spin. There's a huge gap. Okay, 43.7. Spin's not really catching that much. I know he's got to make these tyres last a little bit. He's not really catching by that much. Throttle's done a 42.0. That's a quick lap on the mediums. That's a very quick lap on the mediums. And he was fighting a little bit as well. I know you guys said get the popcorn ready. I'm now just thinking, why did I need the popcorn? There's a few parts of this race where it's been popcorn moments, but it's a little bit dead at the moment. Mind you, I suppose you can't always offer entertainment, otherwise it would get boring. Let's go back up to the top 2, I think. Pasty, ooh, 1 second penalty. Not good for Pasty. So his hard race here at Catalonia is just getting a little bit tougher. Let's go back to these two, because these two are the closest on track at the moment. Let's see, can the Throttle get into a position where he can attack Spin going into turn 1? I don't think he's going to be able to. He's just done another 42.7, another 42. No, he's not going to be able to attack into turn 1, but he's definitely close enough to be a big threat for Spin. Spin's going to have to make that Ferrari as wide as possible. Spin holds out a little bit wider, but carries more momentum, carries more speed. Throttle goes inside early and then lets the car run wide at the second part of turn 3. Great seeing slightly different lines taken by both of these drivers. Both MR cars both being treated slightly differently. Spin trying to use all of the track and a little bit extra, trying to eke out as much speed as possible for that Ferrari. He opens up a little bit of a gap as we come out of the hairpin. Now we go up the hill. Throttle getting on the throttle conveniently early. Tries to close that gap down. The gap is slowly closing. I don't think it's going to be closing quite enough for a move yet. Spin goes wide and then keeps it tight for the second half. Tries to straighten out the second half of the corner, not put too much stress on the outside left. Goes over the sausage curb, turns just before the end of it, gets a perfect final corner. Spin gets a slightly better final corner than Throttle, but Throttle's in a slipstream and he's close enough to make a move. Spin's not even going to contest, he's just going to let him straight through. I think Spin just wants to be towed up to the front. Yep, Spin brakes a bit earlier. He's also got tyre wear to worry about, so we've got 5 laps left to go, and his front left is about halfway used. So throttle up to P2 with much better tyre wear at the moment. Stroll way down the road, but that gap is shrinking. Slowly, but it is shrinking. Both did about the same lap time last time, but the previous 2 laps, throttle has been nearly a second quicker. I can't see throttle getting a win here unless Stroll makes a big mistake. But I think throttle's going to give it a good go. So throttle P2, spin P3, Mo P4, tap P5. Zab is in P6, JMS is in 7th, Cherry's in 8th, and Skycloud is in 9th. So the battle for 7th position coming up shortly and soon. Filthy's in 10th, Pasty's in 11th with another penalty. He may as well just slow down at the penalty mark every lap at this point. Excuse me. So Pasty's in 11th and Jin's bringing up the rear at the moment in P12. Need to put a little bit more alcohol in that fuel tank. I think it might give you a little bit more of a boost of power down the straight. Since you're sponsored by Havana, let's come back to the front. You didn't get a single penalty, by the way. You see this stuff here? That was your penalty out here. Your penalty was out here. You may have not done it on purpose, but no. To be fair, driving here without getting a penalty's good driving. It's just a shame and unfortunate the fact that you've been hit off a couple of times. Or you've had mistakes or accidents that have involved other people where you took a penalty in a different way. But still, to get 9th, potentially 8th or 7th, after being hit off a few times, is a very, very good run. First one was your mistake, second one was someone else. Yeah. And also lap 1 shenanigans, just, it's chaos. It is sometimes just literal chaos. So we're going to keep an eye on the battle for 7th. I'm just going to have a quick look a little further forward. Tap is closed up to the back of Mo. Mo's tyres are very, very far gone down the drain. Jesus. So Mo's in a similar spot to where Zab was on the hards. Even Zab's tyres aren't looking that great. Yeah, this is why you never use shadows as braking markers. Shadows move. Tap in the slipstream of Mo. Is Tap going to have a look? Tap is going to have a look. He's not going to be close enough to make a move though. You don't. Well, you know now. At least you know now. So Tap is close enough. We're going to come back to them in a moment because what has happened to you? I go away for 2 seconds and you lose out a ton of time. Oh, Cherry finds it. Does find a gap going up the inside. So through goes Cherry. I said the battle of 7th is coming up shortly. I didn't mean that shortly. Jesus. I know JMS's chances of winning a race are quite short, but I didn't realise they were that short either. So, going further. So, JMS down into 8th position. Cherry finds a way through, finds a gap that JMS tries to cover, didn't quite cover it off enough. JMS doesn't get the exit he's after. Skycloud does get the good exit though, goes down the start-finish straight, already past JMS and on the inside for going into turn 1. JMS brakes very, very late though. Does he manage to make the corner? He does manage to make the corner. Pasty comes in with bumper. Huh? I shouldn't laugh. Yeah, keep going like nothing's happened. So Skycloud goes up the inside of turn 1. JMS fights around the outside, tries to hold on, isn't able to hold on. So up goes Skycloud, down goes JMS. Yes, Pasty, I did see it, and yes, Pasty, I did do it. So Stra in a different league at the moment. He's in a completely different tier in the terms of pace and gap to P2. P2's doing a great job though. That gap's not really shrunken down at all. Spin's doing a fantastic job in third. He's in no man's land third at the moment, just doing a fantastic job maintaining what tyres he has left. Mo's in fourth, going to be under a lot of pressure over the next few laps with a pretty much dead front left. He's going to have to be very, very careful. Taps in fifth in chase mode, trying to catch up to the back of Mo. This is going to be where Tap is quicker because he's got a little bit more tyre to work with. It's a very important corner to get right. Mo gets it right and gets a little bit of a gap and gets a slightly better exit over Tap, but Tap's got the slipstream, which is a bit more powerful than an exit. He's not going to be close enough to make a move though. So Tap's going to have to wait another little bit, wait for another opportunity. Mo's trying to straighten out turn 3 as much as possible. He's trying to not put too much strain on that front left tyre. He's going to have to though, because he's got Tap all over his back. At the moment, Mo defends to the inside, Tap swings to the outside. Mo defends nicely, keeps his car up on the inside, keeps the car rotated. How much tyre has he got left? He's got barely any tyre left. He's got to do this for another 2 laps at least. Placing the Mo placing his car in the perfect place. No move made here. It's kind of a bit of a stupid place to make a move because you lose all momentum going up the hill. If these guys aren't careful, Zab, who's in a similar spot with his front left tyre to Mo, might get involved as well. Another opportunity for Tap. Is he going to be close enough? He's not going to be close enough unless no, he's not going to be close enough this time around. Although if Mo makes a mistake like that, he will be. Come on, change camera angle. Thank you. Mo keeps the inside, just about keeps that Nissan ahead. He's very aware that he's got Tab, who's just behind him, who does go for a move up the inside. There's a little bit of a push. I say a little bit of a push. That is a hefty push. Off the racing line goes Mo. Tap swings across the inside. Zab's going to get involved. Zab's going to come across. He's going to take fifth position, excuse me, away from Mo in the Mazda. Mo's tyres is clinging onto life like a rat at the moment. That's not going to survive another lap, let alone another 2 laps. So Mo's race is probably not going to end off that well. He'll be lucky to make the top 10, I think. Going a bit further back, Cherry's in 7th. Who's got Skycloud for company. Skycloud on a bit of a charge at the moment. JMS is in 9th. Filthy's in 10th. Jin's in 11th with Pasty on the softs, potentially I think he's going for fastest lap. He is going to go for fastest lap. He's going to take fastest lap away from Throttle. 41.8. Good lap on the softs. That gap between Throttle and Stra has come down quite considerably. Throttle now being left alone on the mediums to get crack on with shrinking that gap down, has done a fantastic job of it. Spin doing a great job in 3rd at the moment. Tap's now in 4th. He's still got Zab for company though. He can't quite relax yet. Mo's tyre is now dead. So this is going to be a very, very painful lap for Mo. It's going to be a very understeery lap. It's going to be a very, very slow lap of trying to get that car to turn. As on to the final lap we come. Zap just about in the slipstream, I think, of Tap. ahead of him, but it's not going to be enough for him to close the gap and potentially look for a battle. He might have to wait a little bit later on in the lap. Must feel like these two are both on the same amount of fuel. But further back, Cherry has already made up a position. Mo fighting for 7th against Skycloud. Skycloud basically pushing Mo at the moment. I'd probably say be careful, because that'd be considered a push pass. I'd be surprised if that wasn't reported as a push pass. So Skycloud up into 7th, Mo down into 8th. This might be JMS's time to shine. He might be able to claw back a 8th position from Mo going further forward. Tap struggling to catch up. Zab struggling to catch up to the back of Tap at the moment, but we're going to go further forward to Stra, who has been untouchable. Wasn't reported. Okay, fair enough. We're going to go up to the front of Stra, who has been basically untouchable this entire race. Had an absolute monster of a gap, probably one of the biggest gaps I've seen in a Monday League race. Flawless strategy, made it work, did the medium hards, got first very early on, is going to come over and finish in first position, get a victory in the feature race here at Catalunya. Throttle gets a very, very great race, gets P2, spin, great strategy as well, made that undercut work, gets P3, Tap holds on holds on, opens up a big gap, takes 4th position. Zab in 5th after a bit of a rough first stint. Cherry's in 6th, Skycloud's in 7th after having a bit of a horrible race of having mistakes and being pushed off. Filthy's in 8th, Mo's in 9th, JMS finishes in 11th. Jin comes over the line for JMS in 10th. Jin comes over the line for 11th. I want to know though how Filthy gained 2 positions. So Mo defends the inside. Okay, I just want to ask a quick question. Where are you going? Okay, I understand you like the old MotoGP and the old F1 track. You want to have a little look at it. I understand it's a misused part of the track that I think we should use because it's a nicer corner. But the track is over here, not over there. Where the hell are you going? So JMS, not knowing what the middle pedal on the race car actually is, and it's not a footrest, keyword, Filthy gets a free position from JMS, then drives around the outside of Mo. Mo trying his absolute best not to spin out Filthy as well. So Filthy gains 2 positions very easily in the final few corners of this race. We're going to go a bit further ahead, back to where we were. So Jin comes around the final corner of the final lap, gets 11th here at Catalunya, and Pasti having a bit of a hard race, a bit of a tough race, comes over for 12th position in great style as well. So let's have a quick look at where's Discord. Do I shut Discord down? I did shut Discord down. Why did I do that? Standings. Here we are, post stewards. So Throttle still in the lead in the standings with 62 points ahead of Tap, who's in second, who has overtaken Spin, who's only 3 points behind in third. We then got Skycloud and Stra in 4th and 5th, not too far behind P2 and P3 in the championship either. So the battle for P2 in the championship is still very much game. However, I cannot see Throttle's title being taken away from him at this point in the season. Going over to constructors, the Lamborghinis are in first, with the Beetles in second and the Renaults in third. So there we are. There's Catalunya. I'm probably going to do Spa tomorrow. I'll try and do it before the F1 race, so it kind of gets everyone warmed up for the F1 race and people actually attend it. Take care everyone, and I will speak to you all soon.